And we're here. Greetings, everyone. How the devil are you? I hope you've had a better week than me. I've been full of man flu all week, but the generous soul that I am, I've just passed it on to the wife. And something in the sort of transmission from a male personage to a female downgrades it from something that makes you feel like death on legs to just a mild sniffle. She says, "I've got your cold. It's not that bad. I don't know what you've been such a wimp about." But there you go. That is the way of things, is it not? Cheers, everyone. It's Friday. We're on the beer again. Cheers. Oh dear me. Oh yes. Oh, it's my first beer of the week, but being a man flu sufferer this week, I have been on the Highland medicine a little bit, well, quite a bit actually. Yes, and it works because I'm feeling better. Anyway, let's have a look in the chat, see who's first in. Dave Fiendish, there you go, mate. And coming in silver medal position, we've got Rent to Kill. There's Cylon Hybrid. And we've got David James, Francis Chambers. And let's have a look. Who else we got? We've got Auto Geddon One. Ingrid is in, so is Tom Clark. And Bev Doyle's Theme Tunes, the artist formerly simply known as Theme Tunes. We've got Mark Kerno. There's Malcolm Spillett, Balder 64. And Frank Bolam, and then Amadeus and Rubbish Guitar Bloke, Pablo Hank, PFY Guitars, Chip Young, and Stephen Hedger. Oh, I'm going to put you up on screen, mate, because it's it's easier to read on screen. Hi, John. Just been checking out a set of Tone Rider Apex noiseless pickups in a 60s reissue 60s Strat. They are without doubt the best noiseless pickups I've ever heard. For once, all the hype is right. Do you know, I've been wondering when companies like Iron Gear and Tone Rider are going to start getting on the on the noiseless pickups. Kind of. Do I want to call it a bandwagon? But you know what I mean. That is the thing that Fender have been pushing for quite some time, and I guess other manufacturers. Well, even like going back to the lace sensor pickups, which I have a bit of a soft spot for. I'm thinking about getting a set of those for a certain guitar, blue Strat copy you can see in the background there. I'm just keeping an eye on kind of eBay listings and stuff. Yes, but anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. Then we got Peter Collins, John Ross, Grandpa Joe, and as ever, regular as clockwork, Joe is acting as my marketing manager because he's saying, "Hello, Fatacasters. You're missing out on on excellent Patreon benefits. Consider John's Patreon. The big news is the Tier 2 Zoom chat is now a weekly event. That's 2 times a week with John and fellow Fatacasters. Well, I suppose, yes, because this counts as one, doesn't it? And then he goes on here. So now you can have the Friday beer o'clock stream plus a weekly Zoom chat. The Patreon helps John pump out his excellent content. Well, thank you, Joe. That is much appreciated. Joe is a loyal supporter of this channel, and I thank you for it, as is anyone else who supports me on Patreon. But Joe's endorsements sometimes are enough to make me blush. Thank you, Joe. Anyway, there we've got Dr. Gomez, Cal Texper, and Paul Trainer, Rexomatic from Phoenix, who's changing strings on a 12-string today. Always fun. Yes, that's a that's a morning taken up, isn't it? We got Thomas Mulvaney and session guitar legend Gary Shaw, Vincent Brennan, Johnny Random's in, so is Jay Aoyong. And who else have we got? We got Chris Ottawell there, and Peter Williamson, Jimmy James, and Paul Trainer BSC. As ever, chucking a quid in the tip jar. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Ian Clark's listening in the car again, down in wet and windy Sussex. It was actually pretty nice up here this morning when I took the dog out for a walk. It was sunny and cold, like a nice crisp day. But it's gradually got milder and windier, and I think it's starting to kind of just a few spits of rain outside now. But I plan on getting wet from the inside tonight. Anyway, we've got Mark who says, I think I left the first couple of cans in the freezer a bit long. Excuse me. First couple of cans in the freezer a bit long. Normally quick chill them for an hour, but they are more like 1664 slush puppies. That is a real art, isn't it? Yes. You want to chill some beer quickly, so you put it in the freezer. And it's a real art to knowing exactly when it's time to take it out. I did have a can freeze solid on me once, and I just poured it out. What was like, because it like all the kind of the alcohol freezes at a lower temperature, I believe, and I just poured out like this, what was like a little shot of neat, gritty looking vodka. Drank it like it was bloody rocket fuel. So I suppose what was left was just an alcohol-free beer. We've got Doc Alders, who's in a wet and windy Sheffield. We've got Robin Fawcett, we've got Nathan, we've got Joe McMurray, we've got Colin Falcon, Peter Hall is in, so is Triple Distilled and Lone Groover. There's Austin Barrett and El Duderino. We got Mr. Chris. There you go. And John Channing is in, so is Darren Myers. And who I'll be doing a Zoom call with Darren for a lesson tomorrow. Hopefully the hangover will have abated by then. We got Arvon Gaunt and my old pal Steve Cassidy. Don't forget Steve's video usually goes out straight after this live stream at 6 p.m. UK time. So when I'm finished, go and recharge your glass and go and give Steve's video a watch. I was watching your live stream on Catch Up earlier on today, mate, and epic jam at the beginning. Your intro jams are getting better and better, mate. Well done. We got Brad Dowell. We've got William Taylor. And who else? We've got Jerry White. And where are we? Jeff Bennett is in. And I think I've said everyone else. We've got H. Gostos. I hope I pronounced that correctly, mate. And he's made it today. Nice to see you, mate. There's Blue Sofa Songs, The Lamb. Another great live stream to check out, obviously, is The Lamb. He doesn't do them every week, but when they happen, they're on a Saturday. And yes, well worth it. It's most of you have watched The Lamb's live streams. So you don't need me to describe them, which is a good thing because they are indescribable, but good fun. Who else have we got? We've got Benny Larson. We've got, who else? Did I say Blue Sofa Songs? If I didn't, I just did. And there's Pablo Hank saying, anyone seen the Dagan video about the Vega Trem? Looks a cool bit of equipment, but a 250 quid, a bit pricey for a whammy bar. Yeah, it's remarkably similar in design to a Trem that was made by a chap who I made a video about a few months ago, a chap who hailed from this area. He is sadly no longer with us, called Jim Cairns, and it was that sort of that knife edge kind of thing that the Vega Trem relies on was very, very similar to a design that Mr. Cairns came up with. He could have patented it, but he didn't. Cylon Hybrid is saying, what's in the box behind you? Rent to Kill saying, what's in the box? You're going to find out during the course of this stream, because it is called, I believe, Live Beer Drinking and Guitar Unboxing. Haven't done quite enough beer drinking yet, but I'm going to fix that in a second. And El Duderino, this is good information, mate. Freeze a beer tip, put a wet paper towel around the bottle or can, and it speeds up the freezing to like 20 minutes. That, I am going to try that. That is something that that has to be tested, mate. Thank you. And who else have we got? I think that might be just about everyone. Apologies if I've missed your name, but it just seems to be... Steve Echo's guitar is in. Long time no see, mate. And how's your custom-built Gordon Smith? I remember that you got way, way back in the midst of lockdown, that wasn't it? And who else? I think that's pretty much everybody. I do apologise if I've missed anyone. It's only... it's not conspiracy, it's just incompetence. It's, you're talking to a fat, bald, northern, hairy-ass bloke with a head full of snot. Things are going to go wrong. You can guarantee it. Anyway, beer. as is becoming the case now. Just a regular green Carlsberg. It tastes okay. It's only 3 and a bit percent, but all that means is that where you would have to, with the Carlsberg export at 5%, what used to take you 6 cans now takes you kind of a few more. But it's still financially, kind of a better deal because of the ridiculous offer that my local Morrisons have got it on for. Anyway, let's tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday's video is this guitar again, the Agrajag Telegib, can we call it that? It says Fender on the headstock because he used a Fender neck, but it's this is very much the work of James at Agrajag, and I've had it a little while now. I've had it since July, so it's just a case of how is it settling in? Has it lived up to expectations? How am I kind of getting used to the various pickup switching configurations on it and everything? Well, you'll find out on Sunday. Then on Monday, basically a little exercise that I do with most of my students where we're doing some lead guitar stuff. Let's just see if I can get this shine off me noggin. One thing I often do with a lot of my students is we'll take a look at a particular solo. Might be a classic solo, might be a solo that isn't much of a classic, might be a bit obscure. It doesn't matter. That'll have to do. But usually we can figure out what's going on in a solo and what makes it sound the way it sounds. And I'll say, right, okay, now you've figured out, or now we've figured out the what's making this solo tick. Go and play your own solo. Imagine you were a rock star for a day. Imagine you were a member of Pink Floyd for a day. Or imagine you were a member of, I don't know, Led Zeppelin for a day, whatever. And take what you've learned about how you can make how that solo is made up and use the same kind of structure and the same kind of, I don't want to use the word rules, but you know what I mean, and make your own solo that fits in the same context. And then learn to do it off the cuff, learn to do it in an improvised way. So that's the theme of Monday's video. Then, hello, there's my phone pinging. Let's just see what that was all about. Yes, okay, nothing important. Tuesday's video, the first of a two-parter. This coming Tuesday is 5 reasons to own a guitar with humbucking pickups. And then I bet you can guess what's coming up the following week. It's 5 reasons to get a guitar with single coil pickups, just to be balanced, because it's nice to have a bit of variety. So that's Tuesday's video. Wednesday is an ongoing thing about the rhythm sort of stuff that I've been doing in recent weeks, and we're looking at a style of music that I don't consider myself to be an expert on, but I can bluff my way through like a good one. I'm talking about reggae. I'm going to show you how to play some reggae rhythm guitar. Then on Thursday, a little bit of a rant. Rant alert, Thursday's video is a bit of a rant. What am I ranting about? Well, I'm ranting about certain types of YouTube videos that perhaps I've been guilty of making this type of video in the past myself, but I try not to do it anymore. But I don't. Anytime I see this particular type of YouTube video, I always click past it and think, yeah, I'm not watching that because I don't like that kind of video. What you're saying there, Balder? I enjoyed last night's visit more for the nostalgic troll through gear ownership than anything else, really. Can't beat a PV amp for robustness. Yep, you're not wrong there, mate. It's like, I mean, I suppose the Boss Katana has kind of taken over the stalwart workhorse of the gigging pub musician scene. But a PV Bandit, especially the ones where they revamped it with what they call it, the trans tube technology. Great little amp, and indestructible and always delivered a usable sound. Was it going to sound like a Marshall Plexi or a Boogie Mark IV or a Fender Twin reverb. Well, no, of course it's not. But it'll get the job done, and it's affordable, and you can't break it even if you're, playing underwater. So great little amps, those PV Bandits. If I was, well, not, but if I was going to go out and gig again, then a PV Bandit would probably be my amp of choice, because it's just, they work, they sound good, and, what else do you need? Maybe a chorus pedal to go into it, or maybe a delay pedal. What else have I missed in the chat? Let's have a look. Nothing really directed at me. So Chip Young is saying Gordon Smith used to be based down the road from me in northwest England. Shame he moved south. Well, he didn't. It wasn't a fella called Gordon Smith. It was a Mr. Gordon and a Mr. Smith, and Mr. Gordon went missing in action pretty early on. So the company was just run by a fella called John Smith, and he retired and sold it, I believe, to the same company that make Black Star amps. I might be wrong on that, but I know he sold it to some company that makes, I'm pretty sure it's Black Star amps, and the actual name of the company's on the tip of my tongue. But now they're down somewhere near Northampton now. So he basically sold the company when he retired. Steve Cassidy saying, I'm not really into amps or pedal these days, but the new PV Bandit amp in a box I kind of need just for the nostalgia factor. Have they done that? Have they done well, I'd be surprised if they hadn't, but I don't keep my finger on the pulse of such things. A PV Bandit in a plug-in or in a pedal kind of form, that'd be cool. It wasn't just PV amps that you used to see as well. I think it was pretty much the majority, if not all, of the bands that you'd see playing on the local pub circuit would inevitably be playing through a PVXR 600 PA system with the high-sis cabs, same PA that our band used to have. It was happy memories. Anyway, Chris Otterwell is saying Gordon Smith guitars have a factory 5 miles from me in Rushton, Northampton. I knew it was somewhere in Northamptonshire, mate. Black Star are in Northampton, ex-Marshall employees. And Steve Echo's guitar is saying, Doug Sparks is now the boss. They were purchased by Auden Guitars. I knew that name. It just wouldn't come to me, I believe. Now based just outside of Rushton. Peter Collins, I have a PV Transformer 212 from 2001, PV's first modelling amp, but the modelling was analogue, not digital. Great amp, but too heavy to gig with now. I'm 20 years old. Yes, we all feel the march of time, don't we? And what else have I missed in there? Tom Clark, anybody got an air amp for sale? I need it for my air guitar. And dear me, Colin Falcon, 50 years ago today that Queen released Bohemian Rhapsody. That iconic video is one of the many, many things that in my memory is in black and white, because that was Top of the Pops used to be on a Thursday night, and on a Thursday night I'd be getting babysat round at my grandmother's house. How old will I have been in 75? I'll have been 8 in 1975, so I was getting kind of babysat by my grandmother, and she had this old television set where it didn't even have channel buttons that you press. You had to turn a dial to tune it into the station, and Yeah, top of the pops on a Thursday night with sardines on toast. You know, all good stuff. Anyway, I have an announcement to make, chaps. I told you I'm a fat, bald northern lad with a head full of snot. Well, I can't even blame the man flu on this, because this was on last week's stream when I was a perfect specimen of health. When I announced that we were going to be wrapping up the jam competition this week. We're not, is the short answer. It's going to be staying open till the end of November. And the reason for that is because I've got a video going out in November offering a few tips on how to play over the backing track, because I was getting a few people saying, this is a really tough backing track to play over. So I thought, well, that's material for a video. And the earliest opportunity I had to put it out was later on in November. So if you haven't got the backing track yet, I'll put the link in the description. Just give me a little moment or two to go and grab it. Yes, where is it? I need to go into here. Bear with me just for a second. I need to go into my YouTube creator panel. Content, videos, where are we? I should be able to search for it. Yeah, here we go. Right, I've got the relevant video, and here we go. So let's copy that link, and I can paste it in the chat. There we go. That was easier than it I was expecting it to be. Yes, so basically there's a video coming up in a few weeks' time about offering some tips on how to jam over that backing track. If you've already had a go and sent it to me, well, just send me an updated version. It'll all go in the pile. What I'll do is if you think, oh yeah, now I know what to do over the top of that backing track, I can do a much better job of it, then just ping me another version and I'll disregard your earlier entry and we'll kind of go with a better one. Hopefully it'll be better. So that's that little announcement. Sorry, I jumped the gun last week saying that it was that the competition was, kind of coming to a premature close. The other thing I want to mention as well is the Ultra 2 Strat fundraiser. I'm going to put the link in the description as soon as I find the damn thing. Is it in this folder here? Yes, there it is. Everything's going far too smoothly tonight. There we go. Let's just pop that in. Basically, I'm raising funds to get a Fender Ultra 2 Strat, which will then be donated to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice for them to use as a raffle prize or to auction off or whatever they want to do with it to make to raise some funds. And basically it'll come here and I'll do a review video on it. I'll also do a comparison video with the Squier Classic Vibe 50 Strat back there, just to kind of test the higher end of the Fender Echelon with the lower end of the Fender Echelon, and just kind of hear what sort of difference there is and feel what sort of difference there is. So this fundraiser has been going on for a while. If it doesn't get much more traction soon, then I'm just going to cash out the funds that are in that and just donate it to Zoe's Place directly. There we go. I think that's all the announcements done. I need a little bit more lubricant. Excuse me. Right, I've been ignoring the chat, so let's go back and have a look and see what... Blue Sofa Songs is saying it's the 30-year anniversary of Wonderwall this week. Yeah. You know my feelings on that song. Ask any guitar teacher who was earning a living from teaching guitar in the early 90s, and they'll probably have a similar kind of opinion of that song to me. It's, yeah, we've heard it too many times. And I... Peter Hall, yes. Sardines on toast replaced legs and co. Yeah, I think it was still Pan's People back then, wasn't it? For international viewers, Pan's people were the dance troupe on Top of the Pops before the advent of videos when a band couldn't turn up to lip sync live in the studio. They used to put some Dolly Bird dancers up, and the first lot were called Pan's People, and then they got replaced by Legs and Co. But Sardines on Toast would have been a good name for them, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. What else have I missed? Ian Clarkson, and they make Auden acoustics. Yes, I knew that it was a guitar brand, Ian. I just couldn't bring the name to the front of my mind because it's congested with man flu snot. Cylon Hybrid is saying, anyone remember the PV Juice 2 12-inch Sheffield speakers full valve? I missed mine and made a great chair to sit on when playing, very heavy. Yeah, now here's the thing. There is a certain Canadian studio-owning YouTuber who does primarily videos about recording gear, and he's a very, very, shall we say, he's a very strident and opinionated gentleman, and I actually like his videos, but he maintains that the PV Sheffield speakers, sound are basically the sonic equivalent of a bumblebee farting through a kazoo in a Force 9 Gale. Raymondo, I just see you've sent me... I'm booked for lessons with John under another name. If he's dead rubbish, I will let the chat know. Oh, that's my reputation on the line, is it, mate? Well, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, mate. Anyway, as I was saying, Glenn Fricker, let's call a spade a spade. He maintains that the PV Sheffield speakers are utter garbage. And I've got to tell you that maybe his requirements are different from mine because he does like pretty much exclusively high gain metal tones. But whenever I played through any kind of even just solid state combo with the PV Sheffield speakers, I wouldn't say I've been blown away by the absolute astonishing quality, but I've never thought, oh dear me, there's something wrong with that. That's not quite right. That doesn't sound good. But maybe it's just, some people. I mean, I love Marmite, but my missus would get a restraining order against me if I ate a slice of Marmite on toast and then went within, kind of affectionate distance of her. But there you go. Maybe it's just a case of that. Balder 64, Marmite or death. It's like, it's just, when I grew up as a kid, it was like everybody loved Marmite. And then it turned out there's this cohort of very strange people who don't like it for some reason. If you're not from the UK, maybe you don't know what it is, but I think there's an Australian product which is very similar called Vegemite, which I've never tried, but if it's like Marmite, I'd probably like it. Malcolm Spillett saying, John, have you ever played a Martin Booth? I haven't, but I would love the opportunity, and I know you've got one. So there's a bit of a hint, mate. Tom Clark is saying Bovril. Oh, yes. I remember as a kid, when I was at primary school, we used to go for swimming lessons down to the local municipal swimming baths, and it was my memory of it is that it was always in winter, and coming out, you're still wet from the swimming pool, and you'd go and get a mug of Bovril from the nice kind of lady behind the steaming canteen counter. She'd 10 pence for a mug of Bovril. Oh dear me, that was heavenly. I haven't had a mug of Bovril in I don't know how long. I shall have to try it again. I see we've got a big kind of pro and con Marmite discussion going on in the chat. Balder 64 says Vegemite has sugar in it. Heresy. Well, yeah. Yeah. Where are we? Anything else I've missed? Terry Day is saying, John, have you ever tried to play the solo from Canyons of Your Mind by the Bonzos? I made a fair go at it, and then all my solos sound like that anyway. No, I haven't. The only one I know by the Bonzo was it the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band? That was their full name, wasn't it? Neil Innes and Viv Stanchel. That was it. Viv Stanchel was also, by coincidence, the guy who did the vocal kind of cues on Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. The only one I know by them is, the obvious one, I'm the Urban Spaceman. Yes, that was enough for me, frankly. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, here's a novelty record. They're supposed to be amusing, and this one isn't. So I never really kind of investigated. I never pulled at that thread. And there's Balder 64, two slightly distorted guitars. I think the Ruttles was that was Neil Innes, wasn't it? And he also wasn't he involved in the music for Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I seem to remember something about some kind of connection there. But anyway, chaps, we're blethering away here, having a fine old time, and it's time to look at some readers' guitars or some viewers' guitars. I almost now, why isn't that there? We've had a little bit of a malfunction this week. Excuse me a second. My Dropbox hasn't synced. I don't know what's going on. I'm sat downstairs on a Friday, and let me just try refreshing this. Normally I'm sat downstairs on a Friday and on a morning, and I choose them all. Well, I don't choose them. I just drag them into the folder randomly from my laptop downstairs, which is into a folder that's in Dropbox, and they don't appear to have synced this week. And I can't figure out why that is. Let me just go in there again. Okay, I'm not going to spend ages on this. I've tried refreshing the folder. Don't know what's happened, but we're just going to have to do without the viewers' guitars picks this week, because for some reason my Dropbox folder, which should kind of appear on all my PCs, hasn't refreshed on this one. So I don't know what's gone on there. I'm just going to have a dig into the settings and see what's caused that. There has been a Windows update that I've installed since last week, and I'm wondering if that is the cause of the issue. But now is not the time or the place to be digging into that kind of thing. But fear not. Viewers' guitar picks will be back next week. I do apologise, everyone. Anyone who sent me pictures of guitars, if you have any pictures of guitars to send me, by the way, well, you know the email address by now, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. And I will also mention as well that if anybody's been trying to message me through the contact form on my website, johnrobsonmusic.co.uk, and the message hasn't got through, I have been aware of that, and it has now been fixed. I've got a very nice chap who looks after my website for me for a very, very reasonable rate, and basically the email form hosting thing kind of fell over, and it took him a few days it took him about a day, actually, in fairness, to get it sorted, and it is now kind of working again. Website's back up and running, and I thought that was all the gremlins fixed, but apparently not. I need to go and have a stern word with Mr. Dropbox as to why that folder didn't sync, but we'll get to the bottom of it. It will be back next week, I promise. So jrguitartuition@gmail.com if you've got any any pictures of guitars you want to send me, or any viewers' tales. We haven't had those for a few weeks because I've run out. Basically, if you have any amusing, remotely truthful anecdotes about your musical escapades. It could be a tale from a gig that you did way back in the day or last week. Or it could be just, when you've met a particular rock music icon and had a good time, or otherwise, then send those little anecdotes over to me as well. As I say, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Oh dear me, the lamb is not happy, but he sent me a fiver anyway. No readers' wives, this is worse than when they cancelled Ladies' Night at the Top Rank. Now, where did I put my copy of Razzle? Actually, I've told this story plenty of times, but, I'll give it another airing. There's a social club in Middlesbrough called the Acklam Garden City Club, and back in the day, maybe it's still the same now. When you used to get booked there for a Sunday, you used to do the noon and night. So you'd do the Sunday afternoon, like lunchtime gig, and you'd do the evening gig as well. Same set each time because it was a different audience. The reason for that was on a lunchtime, it was men only, and basically you were sharing the stage with a stripper, not at the same time. I tell you what, for a young impressionable lad like me, sharing a dressing room with a stripper, kind of that's like you don't know where to look. Do you know what I mean? Because to her, this is her work clothes. Do you know what I mean? She's come off stage and she's she's in the nip. Not to put a too fine a point on it, and she comes off into the dressing room, and you're in there. Hello, lads, how are you doing? And everything's jiggling about. And as I say, I was a shy, young, impressionable lad, and it was like, no, this isn't normal. This is not a normal social interaction. But anyway, this one week we were playing there'd been a mix-up with the agent and no stripper. And yes, the red-blooded male audience did not take kindly to that, and we ended up. There were these little kind of snacks on the bar, including little mini Yorkshire puddings and a jug of gravy that you could dip them in. And as soon as the male audience figured out there was no stripper there, we were getting pelted with gravy-soaked Yorkshire puddings as a mark of their displeasure. So, yes. I did a video about that one ages ago. Maybe that's one I need to revisit. Tales from Clubland, that series of videos was called. Anyway, the lamb is saying, I've done many gigs with strippers and pole dancers. Haha. There's possibly a story in there for you one time, John. Send it over, mate. Buddy Davey is saying, I've been a Patreon for a while now. I just want to say hello to everyone from Paisley, Scotland. Planning on sending some photos of my guitar soon. Well, you do that, mate. That would be absolutely splendid. The more the merrier. Steve echoes guitar. I have a few stories, but not with a wife floating about. Well, you can always send them in under an alias, mate. Budget Petal chap saying maybe just draw some pictures of guitars. We can guess them. I did actually. Funnily enough, about 20 years ago, I decided I wanted a hobby that wasn't music related. I just thought it would be good for me, to do that, and I took up landscape painting in watercolors, and mainly because watercolors are cheap to do. Paper, which you paint watercolors on, is cheaper than canvas, what you paint on with oils. And little did I know that apparently watercolor is the hardest form of painting. I soon found it out. But yes, I won't be drawing any guitars because, Dougal, my dog, can probably do a better rendition of a guitar than me. Balder64, what you saying there, mate? I remember in the mid-90s, we took one of the first batch of Indian IT contractors to a London strip bar, and he tried to put a 2p piece in a pint pot. Yeah, and that comment later from Peter Collins, never heard it called a pint pot before. There is a good friend of mine who's probably watching right now, and back in the 90s, we had I went down to visit him. He lived near London at the time, and we got the train into London and had what is best described as a gentleman's afternoon. There was this part of London, I forget which it was, but it was a bit sort of seedy and a bit down at heel. And every pub on this like high street in this part of London had a stripper on, like in the middle of the afternoon. I think there was even one of these places that had a serving hatch through to the kebab shop next door. Oh dear me, yes, beer, stripper, and a kebab shop on hand. That was a good afternoon, I have to say. Buddy Davey is saying, I'd like to replace the humbuckers on my Luna lap steel guitar. Can anyone recommend a good set for this purpose? I don't feel qualified to offer advice on that. I guess it depends on, are they standard humbucker fittings? I know nothing about lap steel guitars. Because on a standard electric guitar, a humbucker size is like a standard unit of currency, like a single coil size pickup is. Is that the same on a lap steel guitar? I don't know. If it is, then I would recommend, just get a feel for what sort of pickups you like the sound of. Are you a kind of a high output ceramic, kind of hot, overdriven kind of tone player? I shouldn't imagine so on a lap steel, but or is it more my kind of taste, which is more of a mellow Alnico 2 kind of sound? But if anyone else knows, then please feel free to chip in. What else am I missing in the chat? Rent to Kill is saying, I remember watching those Bob Ross watercolors. Every tree has to have a friend. Yeah, he painted in oils, mate. He painted in a particular type of oil paint, which is different to regular oil paints. But yes, the joy of painting. I remember watching that. Oh God, years and years and years ago. But he always used to, we've got a happy little tree and needs a friend, and great guy. Sadly, no longer with us, I believe. Cylon Hybrid has said, John, have you already done or thought about slide guitar? I've done a few videos on slide guitar. I've got a course up on ultimateguitar.com and Udemy on the art of playing slide guitar. There's a chapter on playing slide guitar in my book, The Blues Guitar Bible, and I've done a few videos on YouTube about playing slide guitar, but it has been a while since I've done one. I think I did one relatively recently, and I say that in the last year or so, because on a Monday I used to do an analysis of a classic solo. And occasionally one of those videos would get a copyright claim on it. But the copyright wombles have just kind of taken steroids or something, and it just got to be every week I was putting a day's work into making a video on a particular classic solo, because I've got to figure it out, I've got to tab it out, I've got to do the backing track, then I've got to learn the solo from the tab, then I've got to do some kind of breakdown of what's going on in the solo and some kind of sub 10-minute explanation that sums it all up. And, and that's a day's work. And, every sodding week it was getting claimed for copyright. So I stopped doing that. And I started doing just a generic Monday series of videos on the art of playing lead guitar. And I've just finished doing the solo for episode number 41. So I know that I've been doing this particular series of videos less than a year, which means that in the past year I've done a video on playing slide guitar, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find on my channel if you're interested in such things. Bill Mumbo is saying, John, my lap steel has a P90 normal spacing. I would guess most lap steel guitars are similar unless it has 8 or 10 strings. Yeah, that sounds about right, because when you think about it, you know, if there's components and like tooling and everything done to make sort of pickups for standard guitars, if you're a company making lap steel guitars, then you're probably going to be buying in the components from OEM manufacturers that are making pickups and bits and pieces and tuners and I guess whatever for like non-lap steel guitars. So yeah, I would think it's probably going to be compatible. Um, uh, let's have a look. What else? Oh, Rexomatic is asking me a question here. Just checking to see if you have a bridge and chorus for your jam. Would we mind if we added them? I don't see any reason why not, mate. You know, it's what I like to do with my jam tracks usually is just an 8-bar chord sequence that goes 6 times through. So you get like a sort of restrained intro part with just the acoustic bass and drums. Then the electric guitar comes in, then the keyboards come in, then the power chords come in, then it goes back to the kind of quieter kind of acoustic drums and bass only, and then it goes into like the big finale of the like everything, like the keyboards and the power chords and everything. And that usually makes about a 2-minute jam track, which is, you know, long enough, but you can kind of extend. If you want to do another chord sequence and make a bridge or something for it, then yeah, if you can edit it in. What's in the box? Yes, I'd forgotten about that, hadn't I? Yes. Oh, dear me. As I said, chaps, I've got a head full of man flu, so bear with me. Luckily, I've already slit the tape. This is the bit where we get those little polystyrene pellets all over the floor. This is a guitar, obviously, which initially it looks pretty nice. So here we go. Let's get the condom off it. And what have we got here? Oh, we're going to have to get the vacuum cleaner up here tomorrow. Because those polystyrene pellets will be mighty appealing to Dougal. Here we go. This is the guitar, everyone. This is it. Handsome looking beast, is it not? What brand is it, I hear you saying? Well, it is a Cathy Zhong. And this guitar doesn't belong to me. It belongs to a certain gentleman who's in the chat this evening. If you want to identify yourself, I will leave that in your... up to you. But yes, this is a guitar that he had custom built in China. And when it arrived, it was, shall we say, not as good as was hoped. But looking at this now, just on initial impressions, I've got to say that I am really rather taken with this. You can see the I don't know if you can see this, but the kind of the finish on the back does look a little bit milky, but it feels on the top. Just looking at the top of this, in admittedly not the best light, that looks a bit of a stunner, doesn't it? Really, that's long story with this, and I'll have to refresh my memory, but and go back and look through the emails concerning. I can see a little bit of a blemish up here, which I'll have to take some close-ups for this when I do the full review. But yes, this guitar is effectively not cost its owner a penny because of the apparently really rather substandard state that it arrived in. I've got some pictures and stuff that I will show of how it originated in the full review. But yeah, it's a chunky old beast, but not excessively so. It's, you know, when you see a guitar like this with, you know, kind of, it's sort of semi kind of PRS Les Paul. It's a little bit like a Les Paul double cut, isn't it? But I think the cutaways on those were symmetrical. But you know, it's not going to be like a sub £6 guitar. But it's yeah, yeah. I'm going to enjoy playing this. And I see we're missing the switch tip there. Maybe that's inside the box. I don't know. But yeah, nice satin feel on the neck as well. And are they Geiger locking tuners up there? Yeah, I'm going to have fun with this. As I say, all of the details are in the in the email thread between me and the chap concerned. And I see that pickup ring there is a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Let's put it that way. Do this. You see that there? That's not quite flush. But there you go. Anyway, full review of this coming next month. Back end of next month, because I'm about 6 weeks lead time on all my videos at the moment. So let's just prop this chap up over here. And there it is. That is the Cathy Zhong guitar. Yes, Jiao Young Chinese guitar. Balder's saying I would definitely call it Frankenstein. A knob missing. Yeah, it does. Missing toggle cover. The toggle cover's there. It's not exactly a great fit, but the switch tip is gone. I'm guessing this will probably be a master volume, sort of individual volumes for each pickup, and a master tone. But looking at it just under the kind of the big light up there, I can see various kind of scratches and blemishes in the finish. So anyway, full story on that guitar coming next month, and it'll be the vacuuming for me to do in here tomorrow to get rid of all of the multitude of polystyrene dust that's fell out of that. Sorry, chaps, I kind of forgot I was supposed to be doing an unboxing tonight. Mr. Chris says it looks like a Revstar. Not to me, it doesn't, mate. But it's much more kind of PRS shaped than a Revstar, I would say. Anyway, let's just pour myself a lubricant. And what else have I missed in the chat? Let's have a look. Where's my vape? There it is. Jimmy James is saying Gibson had a DC modern with that swoop. You're right, mate. They did. I'd forgotten about that. Yes, I seem to remember Trogley doing a review of one of those ages ago. Vincent Brennan is saying, how much may I ask? All will be revealed in the review video, but I think I can probably reveal it now that because of the shocking state that guitar turned up in, I believe the gentleman in question got a refund. Let's have a look. Has he revealed himself? I've missed it. Yes, I think we can reveal now that it is, in fact, Dr. Gomez who is the proud owner of that guitar. Let's have a look. What else have I missed while I've been blethering? Gibson open book headstock. Yes, that is a bit naughty, isn't it? Let's have a look. Nice mint Clusen types match the body well. Yeah, that's something that a lot of, and I'm going to call out Harley Benton here for this. When they do that sort of that aged white tuner tips, it just looks like the colour of kind of my phlegm over the last couple of weeks. Sorry to lower the tone, chaps, but that looks, it looks kind of right. It's just the right shade of that kind of slightly olive green to get. Anyway, there's Anton. Didn't see you in there, mate. Don't forget the Lambs live stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Yes, indeed. And Silent Hybrid saying, have you took Dougal out today as the weather's so bad in Redcar, and have you got curry coming? Yes, I took Dougal out this morning, and we had a good old long romp around it's called Coatham Green at the moment, but basically everybody in Redcar knows it as the old golf course because it's where the golf club used to be, and their old 9-hole golf course is where most people walk the dog. So we had a good old kind of romp around there this morning, and and it was a lovely day. It was a lovely, crisp, cold, sunny winter's day. It only got manky later. And Jay Aoyong saying, ever done a top 5 original motion picture soundtracks? I don't think I have. I've done my favourite musicals, but let me write that one down, mate. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. Original motion picture soundtracks. I can tell you one that will be on that list. In fact, I can probably tell you two. Yeah, just straight away, the top 5 is filling up in my head straight away. There's definitely going to be, shall we say, a fair amount of John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. That's going to be one of the choices on there because it pretty much defined my entry into adolescence. How about a Best of Viewers Guitars 2025 roundup? Might look into that. That might be something to do on the Christmas live stream, mightn't it? As for curry tonight, no, we've kind of migrated curry to a Saturday night at the moment. So we're having. I've got to kind of get on the local Redcar Eats app and kind of order up some pizzas from Supremos in Redcar. If you're in Redcar, right, and you fancy a kebab or a pizza, and this isn't sponsored, I'm just giving them a shout out because I like them. Then order such food from Supremos on Station Road. They are. The food is always on time, really fresh, piping hot, and the delivery driver is, he's a pleasant chap. He kind of knows us now, and he's always. Oh, I always give him a decent tip, and the food's always on time. Really great fresh food, and that's why we order from them, and they're very reasonably priced as well. Anyway, that's the plug for my local takeaway over with. Malcolm Spillett could win the weirdest viewers guitar with a Ferrocaster. Yeah, it would have to take a pretty weird guitar to pip that one to the post. Having the kebab shop as a channel sponsor would be epic. Yes. Yes, I didn't think you would approve of that sort of thing, mate, given your vegan tendencies, but I might just do that. I might just kind of say, do you fancy sponsoring a YouTube video? Oh, Buddy Davy, I'm going to put that one up on screen because that is the worst joke I've heard this side of, this year. Speaking of curries, you should order a tarka. It's like a tikka, but only otter. And on that note, chaps, we're over time. Thank you, each and every one of you, for turning up and listening to a snotty, bald-headed fat bloke from up north talking absolute cobblers for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please. Cheers, everyone.